Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat.
Good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Thursday, October 26th. All you Yankee fans out there, wake up and get your coffee. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, hanging out with my co-host, Mr. TC Stills. TC, how you doing, big fella? Oh, you're still muted. You're muted.
Sorry, my bad. I'm back. I'm ready.
Back in the New York groove.
My fault. Yeah, everything's good. It's all good. Hey, the Knicks had an opening day. They played pretty good.
I was there.
You went to that game?
We lost the game, but shout out to everybody that was there. Shout out to the entire Knicks Omni family. I had an amazing time yesterday, TC.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, hey, opening night at Madison Square Garden. What else can you ask for? That's
and
that's
also
the right there, right?
Just to let everybody know, tomorrow is our guy NFE's birthday.
Okay,
Happy
NFE.
Birthday,
all right,
fella.
We're getting ready.
Shout out my guy NFE. Shout out my guy Mr. Lorenzo Cardona in the
where's
building.
He been?
My
How
guy
you doing?
Enzo, where you been at, bro? I
Where you
hope all is
been?
well. Haven't heard from my guy in a minute. Nice to see him in the chat.
Music producer,
Enzo,
big time.
Send my salutes to your mother because she's still my favorite in the world. So shout out to you, Enzo. Shout out my guy Anthony Garcia, my guy from the Dominican Republic. Garcia, how you doing? Let's shout out a few more people. My guy Dev Finch, who is in the building. Folks, Dev Finch and his family, they have a GoFundMe that's going on right now. I put the link in the description after this show, but they do have a GoFundMe going on just to help them out when it comes to the burial of his father, because his father did pass away. So shout out to my guy, Dev Finch. If you guys could just throw $5, $10, anything like that, anything you got. My guy, Chris the Flash, is in the building. Shout out to Chris. Mi hermano de la isla, Anthony Medina's in the building. Stevie Pooh, Steve Schuman's in the building. First of all, I always got to shout out Steve because Dapper Dan is in the building with that profile pic. Steve, salute to you. Of course, TC Stills is in the building. My guy 01LS1Z28DABX, how you doing? And of course, our friend Dr. Hitskin, the MD of the community. Salute to you. Will Star's in the building. Yo, Will Star, hope all is well. Like I said, if you guys can, please smack that like button. Hit the subscribe button as well. If you're tuning in for the first time, we're part of the off season. TC, World Series set. The Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Texas Rangers. Arizona surprised the Phillies.
That
shocked me. Went back to Philly and won the 2 games on the road. So shout out to Arizona. Who you going with in the World Series? Folks in the chat, let us know who you going with in the World Series. Who you got?
I'm an American League guy. I gotta go for the Rangers. You know, I mean, they took down Houston, so I'm gonna stick with Texas.
Okay. I'm going with Arizona on this one. I'm going with the D-backs. I'm going with the Snakes on this one.
They're the underdogs, huh?
They are the underdogs. That's one. But 2, they got all these young kids. How can you look at the Arizona Diamondbacks and not like those young kids that's going over there? So I'm rooting for the Diamondbacks. The Texas Rangers. Either way, this is weird. The Texas Rangers haven't won a World Series in their franchise history, but for some reason they're the favorite going into this. I'm gonna stick with the Diamondbacks. I think the Diamondbacks, they got a 3-headed monster, and when it comes to the end of their bullpen, and their bullpen should be able to go. So I'm gonna pick the Diamondbacks with this one. Texas, I know they got that great offense. Garcia has become a star. You know, they always say the postseason make the star, and Adonis Garcia, he is knocking on the door to let people know he is the real deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's showing up. He's Mr. October for Texas. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, he's carrying the team. I mean, they got Seager and Simeon and a couple other guys, but Garcia, wow, what a series. I mean, Texas made the right moves. You know,
no, they did. Listen, it's going to be a good World Series nonetheless. Again, as a spoiled Yankee fan, I wish my team was in the World Series, but we got to keep on. We got to wait. Hopefully they upgrade this team. We'll get into the rumors that's been circulating, the Sean Casey news that came out, the Juan Soto's news that came out. There was an article that the Athletic put out about Giancarlo Stanton. We'll get into that as well.
Okay.
But before we do that, I'm going to start doing something a little bit different here when we start the show. Just to let everybody know, get your cup of water, drink some water, make sure you're healthy when it comes to that. Make sure you check on your friends when it comes to their mental health. Just because somebody says they're all right doesn't mean they're all right. So I just want to start doing that going forward, just so everybody in the community could be on the same page, TC. Is that cool?
I'm on board. I love it. Very good idea.
Cool. Let's go. Let's jump into the first topic, right? What you want to do? What you want to start off with? You want to start off with the Sean Casey or the Juan Soto stuff? What do you want to do? I'm gonna throw to you to figure it out. No pressure, TC.
Let's start with the Sean Casey news.
Let's start with the first news
I heard about yesterday. So let's get
do
into
that. Bing bang. So, like we said, the Sean Casey news. Sean Casey will not be returning to the New York Yankees next season as their hitting coach. My graphic is a little messed up on the bottom. I forgot to remove the Juan Soto stuff. So we're going to ignore that. But when it comes to Sean Casey on his podcast, he said, I'm not going to be able to come back next year as a Yankee hitting coach because I have my 2 daughters at home. I think getting divorced a few years ago, I have those girls 50% of the time. I just can't imagine being away for them for 8 months. And if that's the reason, how can you not respect him for saying that? Family first. Like he said, he got the 2 years ago. He has 50% custody of his girls, and he want to make sure that he is in their life. They live in Pittsburgh. He doesn't want to be away from them 8 months out of the season. What's your thoughts on that, TC?
Right. No, I'm all for that, Sean. I mean, that's your family comes first, and having 2 daughters at home. I mean, being away from them, that's too long. And you got to think about them. And it's unfortunate, for us, for the Yankees, that he's going to have to step away because he did a great job in the second half of the season, turning around some of these players, especially like Glaber and DJ and, and some of the young guys, Volpe. But, he's got to look for out for himself, for his family. And, more power to him. We wish him well. And, now it's a search for another hitting coach. And, we've been throwing around some names. So, maybe chat if you guys have some names to throw around who you would like to have replace Sean Casey, throw it in the chat.
Yeah. And, shout out to Anna Marie that's in the chat as well. Big time Jerry is in the building. Salute.
Big time.
Like our guy,
Casey,
NFE
fun
says,
time.
family is priority, more important than being a coach of a professional baseball team.
For sure.
Listen, I know we talk about this, and sometimes we got to be able to cut it down the middle. Sometimes it's baseball, sometimes it's real life. This is a real life situation that Sean Casey is going with, and you got to take your hat off and salute to him. He came in last year helping out Aaron Boone, his friend. He was with us for the second half of the season. He did do good when it came to the veteran players, right? My guy DJ on on Twitter put Sean Casey was a favorite among the Yankees veterans, but there was some disconnect between his teaching and what was taught in the minors. Some in and out of the organization speculated if that contributed to the part of the second half struggles when it comes to Volpe, Peraza, and Pereira, right? We saw the struggles that Volpe, Peraza, and Pereira was having, right? When Peraza came up, they told him to get rid of his leg kick. That's something that he had his entire career. He went back to his leg kick, and he was hitting phenomenal, right? But to see the rookies like Anthony Volpe and Pereira struggle, Yes, Gleyber Torres had a good second half. DJ LeMahieu had a good second half, right? But when it comes to our young kids, something wasn't clicking. And that may be a reason why the Yankees and Sean Casey wanted to part ways. What's your thoughts on that, TC? And folks in the chat, let us know. Shout out to my guy, Yankee Kyle, who is in the building. Stephen B brought up Paul O'Neill, Judge personal hitting coach to be ideal. Another two interesting would be A-Rod or Mattingly. That's a good one right there. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, personally, I mean, that would be a dream for me to have Don Mattingly as a hitting coach. I mean, he should be the manager. For the second time. But yeah, he should be the manager. But yeah, Mattingly, I don't know about A-Rod. I mean, yeah, that's a tough one. Paul O'Neill would be great. I've even thrown out some names like Frank Thomas. What about Frank Thomas? Mike Lowell from MLB Network. I mean, he's
former Yankee prospect before he was traded over to the Marlins.
Albert Pujols. What's Albert Pujols been doing lately? He's freshly retired. I mean, hey, those are some good names, good hitters.
Beltran.
Carlos Beltran. That's a good one. That is a very good one. Yeah. So there's a lot of guys out there that might be might be thinking about, hey, there's an open position.
Hector Cruz says Bernie Posada or Tino Martinez. That would be a good one.
Ooh.
NFE said Cabrera. You think Miguel Cabrera? Bernie's too busy with his guitar. Miguel Cabrera?
Yeah.
I would love Miguel Cabrera, but he took a job with the Detroit Tigers already to be in their club. To be in their front office. Anna Marie says, damn, Hector, what a beast of a bottle you drink. That's right. This is 4 gallons right here.
Yeah. You gotta hydrate. You gotta hydrate.
You gotta stay hydrated.
Posada would be a great coach. I think he would be a great coach bench for Aaron Boone. I think that would help out.
Nathan says, what about Kevin Long? Listen, if we get back Kevin Long, why would we say no? If we could get Rob Thompson, why would we say no? I think Rob Thompson should have been a lifelong Yankee, just like Alex Rodriguez was saying on the.
How about Chili Davis?
That would be a good one. Chili Davis would be a good one, but
he's been around.
Look, Ruben just said it. So fat, Chili Davis, Martinez. Nick Swisher have been rumored as potential hitting coaches as well. I like the thoughts of Nick Swisher. I do like the thought of Nick Swisher, but whoever it is, we know that the Yankees front office, they want to lean towards analytics. We don't need a guy who is an analytic driven type of hitting coach. We don't need that. We need the perfect balance between the analytics and the old school approach of hitting. When you got 2 strikes, choke up on the back and try to go to opposite field. Stop trying to hit a home run every time you're up at the bat. Listen, I know Anthony Volpe hit 20 home runs, got 20 stolen bases, but I would have been okay with his batting average being 260 with him only having 12 to 14 home runs. I would have been happy with that instead of a 207 or a 205 batting average with 20 home runs.
Yeah, I need the on-base percentage higher. I need a 350 on-base percentage for Volpe, and 20 home runs is nice, but he needs to be on base. He's not our home run hitter. We have Judge, we have Stanton, we have Rizzo, we have other guys, Gleyber. Volpe is not. He's not a home run guy.
Nah, we don't need Volpe. We don't need Volpe to be a home run guy. We need him to get on base and to steal bases. Use his best tool, and the best tool that Anthony Volpe has is his speed. Yeah, he is a great base stealer.
Yeah, he started off great, and then all of a sudden he just tailed off. That's unfortunate.
I wonder if that was more of the Yankees telling him to
probably
pull back when it comes to running so he doesn't get thrown out, because he was thrown out a few times. He was still in bases, but he was thrown out a few times. So I wonder if that was the analytic department telling him to ease it back, to pick his spots better when it comes to stealing. But whatever it was, throw that shit out the window. We need Anthony Volpe to get on base and to steal as many bags as possible.
Yeah.
I want to highlight some people in the chat. My guy, Razil the Great.
Out there.
He said, Hector out here teaching the basics to the Yankees. Absolutely, my guy. Steve Schumann says,
need to stop there. Yes, Paul Molitor.
Wow. Now, when it comes to Paul Molitor, there's rumors about him trying to become a manager. Now, whether that's a manager with the New York Mets or with another team, we don't know. But the rumors when it comes to Molitor is that he's trying to become a manager next year. So as much as I would like him to be one of our hitting coaches, he was a phenomenal hitter back in his days. I think the Yankees would go another route, Steve. But that would be a good name. Hell, I would love Paul Marter to be the manager of this team. If you
I've
ask
seen
me.
Jason Giambi as a hitting coach. I saw
Yeah, see
Raul Ibanez,
Mike Piazza,
Robinson
Matsui as a hitting
Cano.
coach. I think if Matsui was to be the hitting coach, that would be the first Japanese hitting coach in Major League Baseball. I don't think there's ever been a hitting coach that's from Japan in the big league. So that would be a good one right there.
You could be right. You could be right.
Now, Lorenzo says Cal Ripken Jr. I like Cal Ripken's brother. I keep on forgetting his first name. Billy Ripken. Billy Ripken, when you watch him on the MLB network, he does great. He was doing great demos, hitting demos with Sean Casey. So that's a guy that I think will be a sleeper pick when it comes to Billy Ripken.
About Harold Reynolds. Harold Reynolds does great work too as on the network.
Yeah, no, but I think Harold. No, it's not that I'm not a fan of Harold Reynolds. I think he's a phenomenal inside analyst. But I think Harold Reynolds will be better as an infield coach, right? Because I do like his demos when it comes to fielding. That's something that I used to watch growing up as a second baseman myself. I used to watch a lot of his videos when he was on the ESPN Baseball Tonight crew. Shout out to my guy El Don Sicario, who's in the building. Also, we got 45 of you lovely folks in the building. If you guys can't, please smack that like button for your boys.
Mel Hall. Look at that. KC Funtime says Mel Hall. That's a blast from the past.
KC Funtime is going back in the bag for these names. Shout out to KC Funtime.
I think a lot of Yankee fans have some animosity toward him because wasn't he like picking on Bernie Williams back in the day? I think he was,
who you talking about?
Mel Hall. Doesn't Mel Hall like harass Bernie Williams back in the day? That's what I heard.
That was before my time. I wasn't watching baseball at that time, TC. So I do apologize for not.
You might have been watching cartoons or something.
Yeah, I was watching Looney Tunes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, SpongeBob wasn't out back then. You know.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I like to
stop. Bugs Bunny, Woody Woodpecker.
Steve Schumann says Mark DeRosa does wonderful work on the MLB network as well. Now that's the name that I like. I know a lot of people were saying, manager Mark DeRosa. I'm not sure about that, but hitting coach Mark DeRosa, I do like. When Mark DeRosa first came up, he wasn't known as a hitter. He went to Texas. He worked with the hitting coach in Texas and became a phenomenal hitter before he got injured. So I don't mind the Mark DeRosa one. Oh, we got the Big Blue in the Bronx. Alex Saluka, how you doing? Just to let everybody know, I will be throwing out the link for the open panel a bit earlier, just because I do have a doctor's appointment at 1. So we got to end the show around like 12:15, 12:20, just because I got to get ready for my doctor's appointment. So I'll be putting out the link to the open panel earlier than I normally do. But going back to the Sean Casey thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, the veterans, like my guy DJ pointed out on Twitter, the veterans liked him, right? The veterans on our team. I seen somebody in the chat said Aaron Judge's personal hitting coach should be hired by the New York Yankees. When it comes to that man, teacher man, hitter man, I like him 100%. But I want to ask you, TC, if you're someone like him, right? You got to we got to put ourselves in his shoes. This is a guy that he works from home. He has a big ass ranch or a big ass farm, big ass property where he has his batting cages and he has all of his facilities on his property. He probably makes from his own practice that he does over $5 million, right? A year.
Wow.
Why would you give that up to be on the road for 8 months out of the season, making less than $1 million?
No. Personally, no, I wouldn't do that.
If it was me, I wouldn't, especially at the age that he is. This man is probably borderline 60 years old. I'm not trying to travel with these young guys for 8 months out of the season. Are you kidding me?
No, he's better off staying where he's at. And honestly, I don't know. What do you think about like the direction they're going to go? You think they're going to get an ball player, or do you think they're going to do some of this new school, bring in like a Dylan Lawson type? What do you think? What do you think their direction is? Because bringing up that quote from DJ LEMVP saying how the rookies were struggling, do you think that he's going to Hal or Cashman's going to tend to get like a new school guy, like a a young, hip, analytic-driven coach. Oh. I can't hear him now.
That was my fault. That was my fault.
Oh, okay. I was wondering
That
if
was
it was
my
me.
fault. I muted myself by accident. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, like I was saying, when it comes to the whole who they're going to get, like I said, it needs to be the perfect balance between the old school approach and the new school with the analytics, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. I know they're going to try to lean to a younger guy that they'll be able to manipulate and control when it comes to the analytics, but I want someone that a major league player, former player that probably retired over the last few years that is still intertwined in the game. I'm trying to think of names off of the top of my head. It's
Guys
really
that
not
recently retired.
Yeah, guys that recently retired.
Albert Pujols is one.
I don't know about Pujols, bro.
But he's
I
old.
don't. Not that he's old, not that he's old, but you know, Pujols.
Some people think he's 50 years old.
Enzo says, "How about Edgar Martinez?" Now, I wouldn't be mad at that.
I would love that.
I would not be mad at that when it comes to Edgar Martinez.
Ichiro? What about Ichiro?
Whoever Ichiro, I wouldn't be mad either. But whoever it is, like I said, it has to be someone that is the perfect balance between what the Yankees want and what our fan base wants. And let it be someone that is familiar with the Yankees organization and with the fan base. If you want to dip into, I know we was having a conversation on the last show that the Yankees don't listen to their legends, but if you want to dip into that bag, I wouldn't be mad if Paul O'Neill came down from the broadcasting booth and became our hitting coach in that dugout. What about you, TC?
Honestly, I think that's ideal. I think that's what they need, not only as a hitting coach, but as a motivational coach. Get them fired up. I mean, that guy played with such passion, and he displayed it. Knocking out the water coolers all the time. But that's what they need. They need a guy like that, and he knew hitting. He 300 hitter just about every year with the Yankees until the tail end of his career, he got hurt. But no, I wouldn't be mad at that. Wouldn't be mad at that.
Steve says Paulie would not do it. He won't be able to play golf as often.
Yeah, he won't.
Yeah, that's exactly. A good one right there.
Good life right now. Good life.
What about the kid? You talking about Ken Griffey? Listen, as much as I would love Ken Griffey despised the Yankees.
He does.
He cannot stand the New York Yankees. Shout out to my brother, Mr. Pete Seminetti from the NYY Underground. Pete, how you doing, my guy? Hope all is well. The boss, the man with the chicken tendies, mustache poppy himself, Mr. Seminetti is in the building. So if you're not
watching Pete on and Mario and Kevin doing the playoffs, man.
What are you doing? What are you doing with your life?
What are you doing? Great stuff, man. He's gonna do the World Series. Pete, you're doing the World Series, right?
Yeah, Pete said he's doing the World Series already.
Guy, he doesn't miss a game, man. This guy is he's a diehard. He's in there every day.
Now,
shout out to you, Pete.
Damian Serrano put in a good name. Hold on, I'm gonna put it up right here.
Let's see.
What about Howie Kendrick?
Oh, Howie Kendrick.
That's not a bad name right there. Howie Kendrick was a second baseman with the Angels. He won Rookie of the Year as well. Was a decent hitter in his time. Listen, Howie Kendrick. That's a solid name to put in the hat.
I like that. I haven't heard that name, but
I do like that one.
Yeah.
Like Pete says, the World Series would be this Friday. So shout out.
Yep.
Make sure you guys tune in to NYY Underground for the watch along. My guy Truth always in the building.
What's up,
like
Truth?
Steve says, Howie Kendrick used to kill us.
Yeah.
When he was with the Angels, he used to kill us. I want to take a second to pause. We got 63 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. So let's switch the topic since we broke 60 on the viewers. Let's talk about Juan Soto. Yeah, not Josh Donaldson. That's the last thing we need. But let's talk about Juan Soto. The rumors, the rumor mill was hitting yesterday, right?
Working, yeah, it was working
the
overtime.
Yankees and the Padres, they've had initial conversations about a trade for Juan Soto. I'm not sure if that's tampering or not because the World Series is not even over. So let's
that's right.
Anywho, but Andy Martino
rumors.
from the New York Post reported he provided detail on what exactly this means. He discussed it with Brian Hoach. Make sure you guys go watch that segment. It is on Twitter right now, so you can go watch it. But this is how I interpret that whole entire situation when it comes to Juan Soto. The Yankees picked up the phone, right? They called the Padres. They told the Padres, "Hey, we like Juan Soto." The Padres said, "We like Juan Soto also." The Yankees said, "Well, if there's a way that we can have a conversation about Juan Soto," and the Padres said, "We just had that conversation," and hung up the phone on the Yankees. So that's how I interpret that news that came out yesterday. What about you, TC?
You're probably right. I just want to know where how they get this info. Like, is there just guys, sneaking in offices, leaking information? Like,
I don't know.
Wait, he just was on the phone with the Padres. How do they? That always gets me. Like, how do they know that they were talking to the Padres? They tapping phones. I mean, what's going on? But you're probably right. It's probably hey, we like Soto. You like Soto. Have a good day. What else could they be talking about? They're not throwing back names back and forth. I've heard Anthony Rizzo's name thrown in there, maybe as a possibly going back to the Padres. But other than that, I don't even know what a package would look like. We've made up our own packages for him, but I don't think they've even scratched the surface yet.
Listen, when it comes to Anthony Rizzo, right? If we got to send the package that includes Michael King, Nestor Cortez, some of the Yankees minor league pitching, Anthony Rizzo, Clark Smith, and we get back Juan Soto, Matt Carpenter just for the money, Jake Cronenworth just for the money, because you got to look at it like this. Anthony Rizzo's contract is over after the 2024 season, right? Matt Carpenter, he has a team option for 2025. Jake Cronenworth's contract is not done till 2027 or 2028, if I'm not mistaken, right? So what the Padres are trying to do is they're trying to save themselves $20 million every year after next year, right? So if they were to get back Anthony Rizzo, because apparently the Padres aren't trying to rebuild, quote unquote, rebuild. If they get back Anthony Rizzo, that's a way for them to ease their payroll luxury tax, if you get what I'm saying, TC.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to still take on that money, but if that can lessen the blow as far as pitching prospects or pitching, major league pitching back to the Padres, there's nobody that I'm saying no to. I mean, everybody's available.
Yeah,
I mean, other than like Cole, Judge, and
of course,
Rodon, I guess I don't know, but everybody's available. So I'm sure they're going to listen to every possibility. They're going to go back and forth.
Yeah,
don't forget other teams are going to be involved. The Mets probably involved. Maybe the Red Sox, the Giants. I mean, Dodgers. I mean, they'll probably dip their foot in the water. I mean, it's not going to be easy sledding for the Yankees. So
my guy,
they're going to be creative. They got to be creative.
Hector Cruz says initial conversations. Yankees, is he available? Padres, nah. Hang up the phone. But no, I see what you mean, right? And NFE said, would you consider trading Warren and Thorpe? Now, you guys know how me and TC we feel about Will Warren after interviewing him, right?
Yeah.
But as much as we like our pitching prospects, right? As much as we like Drew Thorpe, right? As much as we like Will Warren, as much as we like Chase Hampton, I got his name right. You see, I got his name right, Chase Hampton.
You got it.
As much as we like our young pitching prospects, as much as as appealing as they look, they're still prospects at the end of the day. It's still a lottery ticket. You don't know what they're going to turn out to be. My fear is that we don't trade them for Juan Soto and we hold on to them and they become Chance Adams. That's my fear when it comes to holding on to our pitching prospects.
Or Devi Garcia.
Or Devi Garcia. As much as I do like our pitching prospects, right? Drew Thorpe looks like he's going to be a phenom. But Drew Thorpe, he's not throwing gas. He's not throwing 96, 98, 99 miles per hour. He's a finesse pitcher. He's throwing 92, 93 miles per hour, 94 at his best. I don't want like a Greg Weissert situation. Greg Weissert, he had phenomenal numbers in the minor leagues. He was the reliever of the year in the minor leagues. He came up to the majors, he couldn't hack it. So that's my only concern when it comes to some of our starting pitchers, bro.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we haven't had a dominant prospect come up and just blow me away and say, hey, this guy is here to stay. Nobody's really impressed me. I mean, we had hype years ago with Manny Benuelos and Betances and
Brackman, Andrew Brackman.
Yeah, it was all the killer bees. Where'd they amount to? Betances ended up being a reliever for a couple years, and then he's gone. Benuelos, moved around team to team. He didn't really, latch on to anybody. He didn't, amount to much. So we have a track record of these guys not panning out, and we hold on to them, like you said, and they don't really prove themselves in the pros, and we miss out on a player like Juan Soto. We can't miss out. We've been saying this. We can't miss out on Juan Soto. This is it. Do or die.
Because like I said, look at the free agent markets over the next few years. Can anybody name me an impact player that's going to be available on the same level as Juan Soto that the Yankees could sign? Ain't no one. Ain't no one available. At teams nowadays, they're signing their young guys to a long-term contract. They're not.
When's Adolis Garcia available?
Now we want Adolis Garcia.
Yeah.
My guy Steve Schumann, he brings up a great point. San Diego would prefer to trade Soto to an AL team if they decide to trade him, and not only an AL team, but to the East Coast. They don't want to trade him to an AL team on the West Coast where they would still have to see him and, all the marketing that goes around them. So you can count out all the teams out of Los Angeles. And I don't think the Angels got any prospects to trade for Juan Soto anyway in the first place.
No.
But they're going to trade him to a team in the American League and a team on the East Coast. Now, according to Andy Martino, what gives the Yankees a better chance than most team is the fact that the Yankees, they do have 7 prospects that are top 100. The Yankees have the most when it comes to the most prospects being in the top 100, and that's 7. Behind that is the Baltimore Orioles. So the Yankees and the Orioles are the top teams with the most top 100 prospects. But the flip side of it, our 7 prospects that are top 100, they are in top 50. They're 50 to 100. They're not 1 to 50. They're 50 to 100. Our prospects are in the 70s to 80s. That's where our top prospects sit. But the Yankees, they do have a lot of pitching prospects, and that's what the Padres want back. You brought up
they want major league. I'm sure they want major league ready too.
But pitching prospects at the same time, and that's what the Yankees have. We have major league ready.
Yeah, we got Michael King, Nestor Cortez, Clark Schmidt. There's 3 right there. And if you want to bring in, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, there's 5 guys to pick from right there.
And if you want to pick, I'll give them the chance. Pick out of these 3 prospects: Will Warren, Drew Thorpe, or Chase Hampton. Which of those 3 that you want?
You got Clayton Beater.
And I know Steve put it in the chat also. I want to bring up another great one from Steve. And shout out to my guy, Dane Huber and Carlos. They do an amazing job covering the prospects, just like our friends Sandy and Julian from Dugout Station. Make sure you guys tune into Dugout Station. When the Yankees season comes back, or when we get closer to, I want to say, the winter meetings, I will be having Sandy and Julian back on so we could break down any potential trades and stuff. So make sure you guys go watch that as TC drinks his fine spirited water. Steve Schumann says, according to Dane, things have changed with developing of pitching. Hopefully, because we've had so many top pitching prospects that just never panned out. We bring up Luis Severino. He was supposed to be a mainstay in the Yankees rotation. You had a lot of Yankee fans saying we don't need to sign Garrett Cole because we have Luis Severino. Look how that turned out. Thank God we signed Garrett Cole.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine if we missed out on Garrett Cole? Where would we be?
Oh, God.
Probably wouldn't have won 70 games. Yeah.
Like NFP says, there's not another generational player coming up at the moment. Juan Soto is the only one. If there was ever a perfect scenario,
25.
It's going to be 25. If there was ever a perfect scenario for the Yankees to go out there and get a player, it's Juan Soto. When the Yankees traded for A-Rod, he was 28 years old. He wasn't 24. He wasn't 25.
Yeah, we're gonna have prime years. At least 10 good years from Juan Soto.
Easy. And
I'll take that every
people want to
single
talk
day of the
about the
week.
contract extension. Give him that contract extension. If you want to give him an opt-out after the 5th or 6th year, give him that opt-out. It means that the Yankees would have him for 6 years. Give him the opt-out. Let him sign a massive deal with another team and let him go somewhere else. At least we got 5 to 6 great years out of Juan Soto next to Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge. We cannot say no to that.
Yeah, that's why everybody should be available. And you know, I know we all probably don't trust Cashman to make this move, so Hal's going to have to step in, and he's got to get this done.
And
this has to be done.
If we decide to include Anthony Rizzo, most likely Anthony Rizzo has to go back. One, Rizzo will go back to the team that he made his major league debut with. When it comes to the Padres, if you guys don't know, Anthony Rizzo was a prospect with the Boston Red Sox, and they used him in that trade to get what was that first baseman? Oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. I'm blanking. He was with the Padres, traded God, blanking out his name. I have his face right in my face.
I can't remember.
San Diego first baseman that the Red Sox traded for, and then they traded Adrian Gonzalez. There you go,
Adrian,
Ruben.
there you go. Yeah.
So yeah, the Red Sox put him in a package for Adrian Gonzalez, and then the Padres flipped him and sent him to the Chicago Cubs. So Anthony Rizzo will be going back to the team that he made his major league debut with, and on top of that, it opens up our first baseman spot. So if we want to go out there and sign Cody Bellinger, we got a perfect spot for him to be at first base. Yeah. We don't got to worry about where we're going to put Cody Bellinger when Jason Dominguez comes back up, because first base is open, TC.
Good point. Good point. But you think if they get Juan Soto, they would sign
Sean Browning, cue the Jeopardy music. Word, Sean.
They would sign Bellinger, you think? You think the Yankees are going to blow past their the payroll?
Do I think? No. Do I want them? Do I hope? Do I dream? Do I click my heels together 4 times like this is the Wizard of Oz? Absolutely, TC.
Yeah, because it's obvious they can't develop much talent, so they're going to have to go out and get the talent. Because, I mean, you look at Texas, look at Arizona for instance. No star power, and look where they're at in the World Series. Yankees can't do that. Is everybody's screaming for the Yankees to? You know, LI always says, "Why you want to trade all your prospects?" What's our track record? We can't make it with these prospects. They're not as good as the other teams.
The difference between the Diamondbacks and the Yankees is the fact that the Diamondbacks, they sucked for how many years so they can have top picks in the draft. That's same with the Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles was bad for how many years? You have to be bad in order to get top picks in the draft to get those top young prospects. And even when you do select in the draft 1 to 10, it's not a guarantee. Number one picks in the draft, they aren't guaranteed Hall of Famers.
No.
Look, Brad Wilkerson was drafted before Derek Jeter. Looking back on it, anybody would have took Derek Jeter over Brad Wilkerson. Are you kidding me?
Of course.
So you have to have 1, great scouting, and 2, you got to have some good luck on top of it, right?
Yeah,
Adley Rutschman, that was a guarantee right there. That was a knock it out the park. But did anybody see Gunnar Henderson becoming what he did in the 2nd round when we picked Anthony Volpe over him?
That's what I tell you. The scouting and our development is horrible. It needs to be changed.
Mike Piazza was drafted in the 30-something round, if I'm not mistaken. Albert Pujols was drafted at the end of the draft. The last 2 rounds, Albert Pujols was drafted in. So it's not a guarantee. Even if you have a top pick in the draft, it's not a guarantee. The Rangers, look, Sean Brown, the Rangers had a couple 100-loss seasons a few years ago, so they could build up their minor league system, so they could build up their prospects.
Yeah, if I believe that Don Mattingly wasn't a high pick as well. He was low in the draft. I'm not sure what position, but I know he wasn't a high draft pick.
No.
You just never know with these guys with this. Yeah, 19th round. Okay.
19th round. Jacob Petruzzi says, Heck and TC, Texas drafted top 5 this year and made the World Series. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. They got a lot of good ones.
They got a lot of good prospects.
Yeah.
And some of their prospects is not even at the major league level. That Jack Leiter hasn't broke the major league level. I think Kumar Rocker is still with them if they haven't traded him yet. But Kumar Rocker hasn't break the major league level yet. So they still have some prospects ready to come up.
They also went out and spent money. Look at all the money they spent. Seager, Simeon, DeGrom.
And that's the thing. Texas has money to spend. We already saw when they signed A-Rod to that massive contract. They have the money to spend in Texas. But let's switch it up. We're going to throw in our last topic before we throw the link for the open panel. And this last topic, this is an article that came out by The Athletic. And it's talking about, can Giancarlo bounce back? Right, my guy Chris Kreisner wrote an article. Giancarlo Stanton was very bad this season and showed serious decline in several key areas. I dove deep into the numbers and spoke with a few insiders to see what can improve. Some interesting stuff below. Make sure you guys click on that article from Chris Kreisner because it was a good article from The Athletic. But he talked about Giancarlo's bat speed has decreased. His strikeout rate has gone up. His base on balls has decreased, the amount of times he walks, and we all see his speed. His speed is non-existent. He walks, he doesn't even run. He just walks in slow motion when he's out there. Gary Sheffield Jr. posted on Twitter, and if you guys didn't see, this was highlighted by guys over there when it comes to foul territory. He said the first move this offseason shouldn't be acquiring Juan Soto and a mega offer to Ohtani, or even in arms from overseas. It should be unloading Giancarlo Stanton, packaged with whatever prospects / money necessary to make that happen. I enjoyed his peak years, but it is a wrap. Even with top prospects, I don't even see any team out there that's be willing to take Giancarlo Stanton back with that money that is owed to him.
Dodgers, that's it.
It's a dead pill contract, bro, at this time.
Yeah, he needs Aaron Judge's hitting coach. Why don't you call him up and say, "Hey, help me out."
I don't know, man. He needs something, and I pointed it out.
He needs a body makeover. He needs a yoga, or he needs to limber up, or
it's just his approach at the plate, honestly. Because I brought it up to you, TC, right during the season when Giancarlo Stanton guys, go on YouTube and watch this. When he's at the plate, he's leaning forward, and at the last second, he moves his weight backwards. Look at Judge. Judge starts backwards with his weight already backwards and then goes forward with it. I'm not sure if Giancarlo Stanton's right knee is so shot he can't put the weight back on it as much. He has to wait for that little weight distribution. But whatever it is, Giancarlo Stanton, he needs a total breakdown of his batting stance and just build that shit back up the same way Matt Carpenter did before he came back.
Yeah, Lorenzo says he needs DDP yoga. Yeah.
Scott just says, I was just going to say he needs yoga as well. First of all, Diamond Dallas Page, he's done a lot of work for a lot of former wrestlers out there, helping them get their health back into shape. So shout out DDP.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The Diamond Cutter. Love that. Used to love that.
When the Miami money kicks in, there would be more interest in the trade. But this is the thing, Hector. This is the thing, Hector Cruz. If the Yankees were to trade him to another team, Miami don't have to pay that money. They don't got to pay that money. That money is null and void once you trade Giancarlo Stanton.
They're hoping they trade him.
That's why I said that the best thing to come would be if the Yankees and Giancarlo Stanton sat down and came up with a contract buyout. Bang, and came out with a contract buyout. Anytime I see, I'm not going to even say that on YouTube. I wait till TC. I wait till after the show. But
sorry about that.
I really think the Yankees and Giancarlo Stanton, they need to come down, sit at the table, and figure out a buyout. I think that's the only way the Yankees could get out of this Giancarlo Stanton situation. They're probably going to bring him back next year, but I think next year, I think that should be the last straw when it comes to Giancarlo Stanton with the Yankees, especially if he doesn't have a big season.
Yeah, definitely. That definitely has to be his last year. He's. I don't know what else to do with the guy. I mean, you can't have a guy as your DH hitting 200 and he can't run. You just can't do it. You're just holding up players that should be playing. It's too bad.
Yeah,
it's too bad for him.
I just put the link for the open panel in the chat. Anyone is welcome to jump on an open panel to have a conversation. But like always, we got to respect the terms and services from YouTube, from Twitter, and just be nice to everyone, right? If you come up here, let someone finish their take before you jump in, because the same time will be given for you, right? So let me just switch up. I got to find the open panel. Booyah. If I can find the open panel. There we go. There we go. And I got to bring up my guy, El Numero Uno, Ruben. Ruben, what's good, Papa?
What's up? What's up? Happy to see you guys.
Baby. Happy to see you too, bro. Hope all is well. You've been listening to the conversation. You've seen the 3 topics. Whichever one.
Real quick, Hector, before we go to Ruben, you got to put up Big Time Jerry's quote. You got to put up what he just said. He's got me cracking up.
He said, like I told Pete, I'm not boasting. Hector and I can run faster than Stanton. Jerry's 76 and I got a bad back. I definitely believe we run faster than Giancarlo Stanton at this point. Go ahead, Rube.
And I can witness that. Big Time Jerry probably would beat Stanton in a race.
Yeah. And shout out to my brother, my guy, Mr. Rod Thompson in the chat. Rod, how you doing? Big time. Go ahead, Rube.
All right, so let's see here. The hitting coach, A-Rod will be good, but I just don't see his demeanor willing to take that ego hit to go and be under Boone, and Cashman as well. So that's the only thing I don't see. I know some of the realistic names like Chili Davis, an inexperienced guy. Nick Swisher's a switch hitter, which is good. I just don't know. I never saw him as a hitting coach. Like I saw him more as maybe a fielding coach or someone that can kind of lighten the mood. But I don't know about the hitting coach.
Motivational speaker.
Yeah, Tino Martinez. Tino Martinez. I don't know if he's coached before. So
yeah, he did with Seattle.
Was Seattle? Okay, so
no, that wasn't Seattle. Was it Miami?
I thought it was with Seattle. Hold on, I'll look it up right now.
No, I don't think it was Miami because Miami they had the
I know
guy
he did coach and he was.
ESPN
I heard he was real brutal on the players. They really didn't like him.
So, but I don't know. So, the hitting coach, I have mixed feelings. I really wanted Casey back, but I get it. Families first. You know what I mean? So that I understand. Kevin Long should have never been let go, in my opinion. He was let go, I think, in 2014 or whatever, because he didn't get the job done. It's like, dude, everyone's 38 years old on the roster, and he had one good hitter in his prime. Of course, the offense was going to struggle, and they never really addressed it during that time period when Kevin Long was here. So I don't know. The hitting coach, I'm iffy on. But then on the Soto talk, I how you guys are saying he probably just called to say, hey, is he available type of thing. That's pretty much what I think is that he probably leaked it out himself and he said, hey, you can go ahead and tell him we call it for Soto just so we can get the fan base in Cashman's good graces or something like that. But I mean, I'll give up pretty much any prospect, and obviously within reason, because I don't think it should take a Dominguez. It shouldn't take certain guys that we already have up here that we kind of really see them in key positions like Wells as well, even though we do have a lot of catching prospects that could replace Wells, but just get it done. My thing is
they mostly want pitching back. I'm sure they want that. The pitching is the big deal for them.
And we got a ton of pitching.
I just looked it up right now as I just threw my phone by accident, but I just looked it up. Tino Martinez, he was a hitting coach for the Miami Marlins. What happened was in spring training, he grabbed and had a physical altercation with one of the prospects, Derek Dietrich, and then that's when he put his resignation.
Oh, and Dietrich is a roid head, isn't he?
Yeah,
that I don't know, but apparently he grabbed him up and yoked him up in the clubhouse, and the only reason it got out there is because he did it in front of reporters.
Damn, yeah, no, Dietrich, from what I understand, he's a bit of a he was really good friends with Stanton, but he did get busted, I think, for performance enhancing and stuff like that. So I don't know if it was the Roy's that got him to piss off Tino.
Oh,
But now the last part, what was it? Soto and hitting coach, and what was the last part? I'm already drawing blanks already.
Stanton.
Stanton. Oh, so on Stanton, it's crazy. So when I was reading the article, right, his exit velo, I mean his bat speed dropped. But the funny part is he still ranks like top 5 in bat speed. So it was a big drop for him. But compared to everyone else, he's elite still in bat speed. So to me, that kind of tells me that it's probably that Stanton just needs to really adjust his approach, and because his bat speed is so good still that it shouldn't be the reason why he can't hit. Now, when I read in there, they said that his swing decision was really questionable, and that he ranked really low on that. So swinging at the right pitches. And then he also struggled with his launch angle. And I usually don't like to look at launch angle too much, right? But I do like to look at it on players just to see what's their normal, right? And like with Bellinger, when he was an MVP, he had a certain launch angle. It was like within 8 to 10% or whatever. When he got out of whack, he was at 20%. So and you could tell that he was off. So with Stanton, they were saying that like a lot of people worry about the strikeouts when they raise the launch angle, but Stanton is so level, right? And Stanton is so, in most cases, negative in terms of launch angle because he gets a lot of double plays. So he's one guy that could actually benefit from trying to lift the ball a little bit more, just because he's hitting it to the ground way too often, and that has a lot to do with the way he's swinging at the ball and where the bat is going through the zone. So could Stan be fixed? Yeah, but he has to be willing to make that kind of swing change. Yeah. And one of the supposedly he's willing to make the changes. But I remember when he said the interview, they asked him, "Oh, do you need to overhaul your entire swing?" He said, "Oh no, it's just little things." And I'm thinking in my head, dude, you gotta look at everything. You can't just do the little things. Like you need to make sure that if you gotta move your legs a little bit, open up a little bit more, because the way he swings is for opposite field hits. Well, he's not doing good pulling the ball. And if you're gonna try to lift the ball and pull it, you're gonna need to have a bit of a more open stance to get to it, especially if his bat speed is going to continue declining. Yeah. So it could have happened. Could he bounce back? He could, as long as he actually goes and he goes with the driveline guys, because that's what they're there for. Like multiple stars have gone to driveline to go and fix their swing. So that's what I think. Max Muncy was one of them too. When he wanted to like kind of adjust the swing a little bit, he will go to them. So Stanton to me should go to driveline and forget our hitting coaches, forget our guys. Go to driveline, go with Judge's guy, maybe get a mix of those two opinions and find something that fits. But he needs to fix his swing, like in terms of like the way the where the back goes and his approach, because his swing decisions ranked in the top in the bottom third when it comes to like swinging at the legs. Yeah. Oh, the legs.
The legs are shot. Crazy.
Because they mentioned that like 4 or 5 years ago, like 5 years ago, before he was a Yankee, he was 70% in base running. Like he was in the top 70. Yeah. So it's crazy how like this guy, but that to me tells me it's not that he can't run, is that he's tentative and he's afraid of getting hurt. And to me, the Yankees have messed him up on that, because to me it's like, if you get hurt, you get hurt. Screw it. You need to go and play 100%. Because you're already missing time as it is. Go at 100%. If you miss 50 games, guess what? You miss 50 games regardless. So
you're already gonna miss 50 games. So what are you doing? And Ruben, exactly. You know, and T knows, everybody in the chat knows, when a Major League Baseball player, when they try to compensate for an injury, they're gonna hurt themselves even more. They hurt themselves even more when they try to. If they know, oh, I got a knee injury, let me put more pressure on my. You're going to hurt your other knee. You're going to hurt your back. You're going to hurt your shoulder as a pitcher. If you have a hip injury and you're trying to compensate by throwing more with your shoulder than with your hips, you're going to hurt yourself in the long run.
Facts.
Yeah.
And that's the part. And that's the part that bothers me with Stanton, because how everybody talked about Donaldson pimping the home runs, right? Bro, Stanton used to do it just as much. And the problem with Stanton is that when he would do it, and then he would like, oh shit, I gotta get to second base, and that's when he would pull the hammy. Because he's like, oh, I gotta accelerate now. And it's like, well, if you were accelerated from the beginning, rather than like, you know, like going really slow thinking you got a home run, it's like, dude, if it's not a freaking absolute bomb of a missile, right? Like just run.
What was that noise again, Ruben? Phew.
What do you guys?
Ruben,
How do you guys feel about? Go ahead.
One second. I just want to bring up. We got two more people backstage. I want to bring up my guy Damian Serrano, and then we got Sunil backstage. But Damian, how you doing, my guy?
What up, everybody?
Damian,
I'm good.
what's happening, brother?
CC, Ruben, Hector, my guy.
What's up,
How's everybody doing?
Man? Good, fam. Good, fam. Everybody good. Family good. Mental health good.
Absolutely. Well, mental health, I don't know with the Yankees, but you know.
They'll drive everybody crazy.
I appreciate you, Damian. Damian, you've been hearing the topics. Listen what we're talking about. Tackle whichever one you want to talk about first. The floor is yours, my brother.
Man, I got some on a Soto tip. I think there's something that we're not looking at that we can make things work. The Padres want to get rid of Cronenworth on top of obviously possibly Soto. Cronenworth is a second baseman. You can add Gleyber Torres to that trade.
Well, Cronenworth plays second, third, left,
Correct.
right, and first base.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they want obviously some back. All right. So they can fill that void with Gleyber. Bring Cronenworth back to New York. He'll play second. Bring Soto over there. And of course, we can throw in another pitching prospect or even Rizzo if it needs to be. But Gleyber could definitely work in that trade. I think it's something that's underlined and everybody's kind of not looking at. But Gleyber could possibly be the one that gets that trade done.
Yeah, because the Padres can keep him, and at the trade deadline, if nothing's working out, they could trade him away for some prospects or whatever.
Because now you're swapping two guys whose contracts are done at the end of the year. You know, they're free agents. So now you're taking rental for rental.
I would say, remember this though, Kim has been their primary second baseman since Cronenworth kind of took a dip on performance.
True.
Yeah.
So my question would be then, do they move Kim to center field or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna make room for Gleyber. Because obviously they're gonna
play center field, right?
Yeah, he could play. Kim could play anywhere.
Yeah,
you can plug that dude anywhere. He can go anywhere, and they're gonna want offense back if they're losing Soto. They're definitely going to want some offense back. And I think Gleyber can fill that void. And then, of course, you throw in an extra arm on top of that. Maybe King, maybe two of the Brito, even Vasquez. What's his name? Vasquez. And
Louis
get that deal done without really dipping heavily into the prospect pool. And, of course, that leaves options open to go out and get somebody maybe for St. Louis, Donovan, who can play anywhere. Left field. So Cashman's got to get creative here. Is he going to?
That's a key word, creative. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Is he going to? I don't have that much confidence whether or not he's going to, but the deal can be done. Like they said yesterday, if the right deal presents itself, then they'll make that deal. So I think the possibility is really good there.
And like Casey just pointed out, I just want to highlight this real quick before I bring up someone else to join us with the open panel. Arizona is proven that you can win games with good pitching, defense, and athleticism. You don't need a lineup filled with home run or nothing. We need a philosophy change. And I remember, when the postseason first started and Philly was everyone's favorite team, and everyone says, look at the Philadelphia Phillies. They're winning games by hitting home runs, solo home runs here or there. What happened in the last two games against Arizona? They couldn't hit to save their life. They had, I think, a 171 batting average with runners in scoring position. That entire series, if you remove game 3 or game 5, where they scored so many runs, I forgot which game it was.
Yeah, no, you have to have multiple ways to score.
Seeing that stat.
Yeah. So it goes both ways. You got to have good pitching, good defense, and when it comes to the idea about Gleyber Torres, Steve Schumann brought it in the chat. Now, $15 million that Gleyber is going to make. Anthony Rizzo makes about $18 million.
Yeah.
It's either one or the other. right? If you're San Diego, Ruben, who would you rather have back, Anthony Rizzo or Gleyber Torres? Who would you rather have back, Ruben?
If we want to go for a more sure thing, Torres. If we want to go with more lineup balance, Rizzo. But but there's that injury risk and not knowing how is he going to return from the concussion.
Damian, what about you? If you're San Diego, who would you rather have back, Anthony Rizzo or Gleyber Torres?
Gleyber Torres, 1,000%. They already got a decent defensive team to begin with. So Gleyber Torres, 1,000%. Only because of the question mark on Rizzo. That's the only reason.
And then if you put Gleyber Torres in San Diego, he don't got to be a second baseman because they got the DH in the National League now.
Exactly.
That's the issue with the Yankees. We have Giancarlo Stanton, so he would definitely be the DH in San Diego. TC, same question. Who would you rather have back, Anthony Rizzo or Gleyber Torres?
Gleyber. Yeah, he's younger and they have got potential to keep him around for a while, and but his numbers will go down in San Diego. That's a big ballpark, and I know right field in New York and Yankee Stadium has helped Gleyber with his power. His power numbers will go down, but he'll succeed in that lineup with all those guys, Tatis and Machado and all those Bogarts. That's a big lineup right there to protect him. So he won't be the glaring hole in the lineup. So I think he'll thrive. He'll thrive in San Diego. I think he will.
If it was me, if I'm San Diego, I would rather have Gleyber Torres back, one, because he's younger, and two, like I said, if we go through the season and San Diego is not in it at the trade deadline, Gleyber Torres is a piece that they could flip for a prospect or for something else that they need for the future. He has more upside than Anthony Rizzo. You'll be able to get more back for Gleyber Torres than you would be able to get back for Anthony Rizzo. And on top of it, nobody knows what Anthony Rizzo is going to look like in the 2024 season, coming back from that concussion at an older age as well. He's not a young spring pup. He ain't 28. He ain't 27. He ain't 29. Well. My man's 34 with a concussion and a bad back. Go ahead, Ruben. I know you wanted to say something.
I will say something. If I'm the Yankees, I want them to take Rizzo. So that way we can go ahead and ship Gleyber to a different team. Because the reason you do that, right? because that way you get Bellinger to play first base. You can move all that money. Because remember, when you take all the current money that's coming off, if you're trading away Rizzo and Torres, that already is money that we didn't have. Yeah. That's money we didn't have. That doesn't include what we already have, which is about $50 million, that should become available. So that's where you can go and get a Bellinger, get a Soto that same offseason with a Yamamoto, and still be around the same kind of payroll that we were this past year. Because in reality, this team doesn't need little pieces anymore. They need legitimately 2 to 3 big pieces because their stars haven't been stars. So.
Facts.
Hey, Soto de la Isla.
Norman de la Isla. What's good, my brother?
If we can't have Juan Soto, we got Norman Soto.
Seriously, Mr. Norman Soto, holla at your cousin. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. Guys, just hold on 1 second because we got more people backstage that I want to bring up. I'm going to bring up my guy, Mr. Sudi Sunil, to the conversation. Sunil, how you doing, gorgeous?
What's up, Sunil?
Hey.
What does it say? Yankee Analytics? What?
You said Yankees Analytics. Go ahead, Sunil.
I said Yankee Analytical Batting Coach, hitting coach. Yeah, I'm basically Dylan Lawson in disguise.
All right. Okay. Well, Mr. Dylan Lawson, if you could help us with the conversation we've been having about KC, Soto, and Stanton, pick which one you want to go with and kick it off. Go ahead, Sunil.
Stanton, his legs. I heard the whole bionic thing, and that got my ears, buzzing. I'm thinking, you can have him in a new reel set up to the 1970s $6 million man. Only he's not $6 million. He's more like $26 million. And you can have the whole bionic sound effects going in the background as he's running. Yeah.
So Neil, you got to stop aging yourself, bro. Every time you come on this on the panel, you're always aging yourself. You're always talking about Turner Classic Movies. Like, you got to stop it, my guy.
Not everything is Turner Classic Movies.
Sunil, I love you, my guy. But Sunil, no, seriously, when it comes to Juan Soto and the conversation we've been having, who would you rather, if you're San Diego, who would you rather have back, Gleyber Torres or Anthony Rizzo? Which out of the two, who are you taking back?
I could see them wanting Torres back because of the offensive devoid that you guys mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, if there's a reunion in the mix, and if they have any value for Rizzo, there's your other possibility. If I want additional arms, I might consider, somebody threw it out in the chat before, Luis Gil, in addition to the Britos, the Vasquez, Cortez, King. Now, before I throw out King, I would probably throw out L.I. Yankee King before I throw out Michael King. Michael King is a last resort.
I give Schmidt over King instantly.
Oh
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If we can, I just want to, if the chat, if you guys could, we got 65 of y'all in the building. We're sitting on 52 likes. So if you guys can smack that like button, let's get the stream to 60 likes on the stream. We're just 8 smacks away. Like my guy Jerry Ferrara says, you could just gently tap it. You don't got to smack it. Gently tap the like button.
By the way, great show yesterday on the Knicks, man.
Appreciate that, bro. We're gonna be doing a lot of great Knicks content this year. Shout out to our guy Jerry Ferrara, who came on. He took a chance with us with the Knicks Morning Brew, and it seems like the chemistry is just perfect. You would have thought we was 4 cousins that grew up together in Soundview or in the Bronx somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, before we continue, I want to bring up my guy NFE, right? And I'm gonna need us to work out a way that we get a car sponsorship, because the way Damien is in his car, NFE is in his car, Lorenzo was just backstage in his car. I need a car. We need a car sponsorship for my guys. I need Damien to be riding around in something with some big wheels. Come on, my guys.
Yo, Morning Brew, Morning Brew Sports,
and Damien's trying to pick up Yamamoto.
That's exactly. You gotta wrap that shit. It'd be like those dollar vans that you see with the rappers wrap around in Flatbush.
Absolutely,
just like that. NFE, I want to throw it over to NFE. I want to throw it over to NFE real quick. NFE, great comments in the chat. I appreciate you. I always want to give you your shout outs, but you've been listening to the conversation. Pick up wherever you want to go. Go ahead, NFE, and let's throw it back over to Sunil, Damien, Ruben, and then TC.
Yeah, I mean, I know we the names for hitting coach. I mean, a lot of those guys are good names. I just want a hitting coach that's going to focus on, fundamentals and the basics, not just a home run or nothing type of baseball. Like that's not baseball. You have to have all of it. You got to get the hits. You got to get the home runs. You got to get people on base. You got to score the runner. You got to score the people that are on base. So, somebody that's going to focus on the mechanics and, again, the fundamentals of the game. I feel like the Yankees have gotten away from that. They're too they're not using analytics the way that it's supposed to use. They're too reliant on it. So I don't know who that name is, but hopefully it's not like another Dylan Lawson type. So that's my hope for hitting coach. As far as the Juan Soto talks are going, at least it's some encouraging news that they had some preliminary talks with the Padres. We'll see where it goes. I'm still driving back and forth. The San Diego front office needs to pay for my massages and my chiropractic issues that I'm having. Sitting around. I'm happy.
On call driver.
So Neil, when it comes to the Yankees hitting coach, besides yourself, who would you like the Yankees to hire when it comes to hitting coach? And I want to get Damien's thoughts on it. Go ahead, Sunil.
Okay, this is not Turner Classic Movies. Let's put the quick disclaimer out there. This goes back to 1995, the ALDS, the guy who ended it for us, Edgar Martinez.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why Edgar?
because
Go ahead.
Yeah, why Edgar Martinez? Because NFE touched on 3 points right there. Focus on the mechanics, get guys on base, drive them in. What did he do in that last at bat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not and even though he was a home run hitter,
Mm-hmm.
he was
He was
literally
a
right
hitter
there when it
first.
comes to doubles. He was more of a regular
That's
hitter. Even though he was knocking you 30 home runs a season, 30 plus home runs, he was still giving you about 30 to 40 doubles on top of it.
that's exactly what we are needing.
And
That's
hitting
what I've been saying,
350 a year.
and that's what I've been saying, and that's what I've been saying all along. We got to get away from the home run or nothing philosophy because that's played out. That you're making my TV, play out like an HVAC basically every time I watch a Yankee game with that philosophy.
Yeah.
I feel more breezes coming out of my TV than I do out of my HVAC unit.
Yeah, clown Sunil. I just want to take a second just to highlight two people in the chat. I want to shout out my guy, New York Rican, my guy G Ram, who's in the building. G Ram, how you doing? And I want to shout out my brother, Mr. Worldwide Mayberry from For the Love of the Game. If you guys don't know, the first podcast that I ever started was with my brother Lawrence Mayberry from For the Love of the Game. We started that out. It was a great time. Like I said, I couldn't do the night times like him and Harwell, so I had to move over here. That's why we do the morning shows now. But I just want to shout out my brother Worldwide L in the chat, like always. Go ahead, Damien.
My guy that I put out there earlier, Howie Kendrick.
Yeah,
Been in the game, obviously was in the game a long time. World champion, was a key in the Nationals winning that World Series. He was lights out. If it wasn't for Howie, they wouldn't have even won that championship. And the guy was consistent, nothing but consistent his whole career. No matter where he went, no matter where he played, the guy was consistent. And he's been out the game long enough to understand analytics, and clearly the guy knows how to hit. So I think he is like the perfect mix of the two to bring over. Just seeing him over there with Philly during the NL championship games, he's not on the staff, paid for. They invited him in. So I think Howie Kendrick is somebody that's a great fit for the Yankees.
sleeper pick, very sleeper pick. I was surprised when you put that in the chat. That name just literally passed by me, and like you said, he was a Yankee killer. He was definitely a Yankee killer, bro. Definitely a Yankee killer. Go ahead, Ruben. Same question going your way when it comes to the hitting coach.
The hitting coach, well, to me, I wouldn't mind definitely like a younger one. It's just it'll depend. You know what I mean? It's all how they implement it, because a lot of people, they use that whole argument about the team that hits the most home runs typically wins the games and everything. But it's like, yeah, but you got to be able to actually make contact. And if you want to hit home runs, you got to actually hit the ball. So that's the part that to me is like, as long as you focus on hitting the ball and that means raising your batting average, then typically you'll get more chances at a home run. Unlike most folks, they're like, oh, you gotta hit more home runs, and it's like, no, look, you gotta make more contact, and then you'll have a chance at hitting that oh my god, home run out of nowhere type of thing. So, but I like the Howie Kendrick one. I didn't realize that he was kind of like added on to the staff a little bit in a sense. So like that answered the question I had about Howie, because I didn't know if he was like currently coaching or around any coaching. Because I do want someone that has some kind of experience with coaching. Now, the other name that I did like was Mark DeRosa, just because I like the way he breaks down mechanics. Like him and Sean Casey, when you talk about mechanics and stuff, oh my god, it's really good stuff when you listen to them. But and again, it's like NFE said, the analytics. I don't think it's that they're over relying on analytics. Is like they're actually implementing it wrong. Like they're communicating certain information, but they don't know how to actually get to that information.
Yeah. So
it's like, oh, we have this. Can you do this? And it's like, no, like you need to implement it on. Okay, if you're in the box, this is what you got to do. So it's one of those things that I think there's a disconnect on the communication side. That's why I didn't like Harold Reynolds as an idea, because he is not going to know how to do that.
And not only that, but give it to the player, because they just want to make everybody one player. Give it to the player's strengths, to what they do best. Not try to make everybody a judge, not make everybody Big G. You know, make everybody who they are and elevate what they do best.
Not everybody is the same. That's why not every doctor is going to treat my doctor's not going to treat me the same way Ruben doctor treats him. Everybody is different, and the hitting coach should cater that to when it comes to different hitters and their approach at the plate. But shout out to my guy Lorenzo Cardona, who's in the building. Enzo, if you guys didn't know, we're working on Yankees Morning Brew Fast and the Furious for next season. If you guys didn't know, with Damian, Lorenzo, and NFE. But
I'm gonna have to jump in my car next show.
Enzo, really quick, guys, I'm gotta go. I just got a call. Love you guys. Be safe.
Love you.
Appreciate
Damian.
it, Hector. Be easy, everybody.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Thanks, Damian.
Be safe, brother.
All right, see you, Damian.
Copy. But Enzo, you've been listening to the conversation. We're gonna be wrapping up soon, but I'm gonna throw it over to you when it comes to Soto, when it comes to the hitting coach of Giancarlo's. Pick whichever topic you want to talk about, and let's go. Go ahead, brother.
Well, man, I've been an advocate for Soto on the team since the beginning. Give whoever we need to give to get him and get him over here just because it's the right atmosphere for him to be in. He's going to smash home runs in there. So we don't even need to talk much about that. I already know, like, it's New York, the Yankees is perfect for him. You know, the problem, too, one of the problems for me has been a huge problem. I said it earlier in the chat. Where's all the legends at in the organization? Like, man, all right, we don't need, like, one thing that hurts me the most is Reggie Jackson not with us anymore. Because if you had a man like Reggie Jackson around, he could talk to these young guys about a whole lot of things that all these young hitting coaches were talking about bringing in. They don't have those experiences that Reggie has that he had to go through, you know, coming up into the majors. And he can relate to a lot of these, you know, young players still. I really feel like that. Then, you know, it's kind of crazy. We don't see any of our guys that we saw growing up playing for us in the organization doing much stuff with the actual team. We hear sometimes, you know, that they're working in the organization, like in the corporate level, but where are they on the field?
For spring training.
Where any of them on the field? We don't ever see them at all. We barely even see them now come through for spring training to be like special assistant coaches like that. When that used to happen all the time. So, like, me, for a batting coach, I was thinking Edgar Martinez, and I was thinking also Jim Thome. Jim Thome, I really like how he really explained it. And I really like when I watch him on MLB Network explaining hitting and where to keep your hands at and how to actually get a pitcher to throw the pitch that you want to you. So that's another person I was thinking about. Him, Edgar Martinez, and when you said Billy Ripken, that was a really good one earlier too. I really think Billy Ripken would be great for a job like that. But it does have to be someone that is adaptable, that can speak to these players in their own specific ways, but also have some old school in him. That we need someone that understands to go with their gut feeling. That's what we really need. Someone that goes for the gut feeling, that is in the moment, that understands what the moment is and what the vibe is, and go with that gut feeling instead of, oh, well, you know, 70% of the time you should hit it into the opposite way in this situation or something like that. But man, I really hope we get like Edgar Martinez, Jim Thome, or Chili Davis, Bill Ripken type of guy. Those are like the four.
A lot of good ones right there.
I would like Don Mattingly, but I want Don Mattingly as my coach, my manager.
We bring him in for hitting coach, and then halfway through the season, we fire Aaron Boone and Don Mattingly
the manager. I like that.
Yeah, if that could happen, then I'll be happy with that. But if he doesn't have any type of ability to even have a chance to become a manager, then I don't even want to do that to that man. I really don't.
No, I respect that. I want to go around the panel just to get last words because we're about to wrap up. I want to throw to NFE, Sunil, Ruben, and then TC for his last words. And again, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Appreciate all you guys for showing us some love. Smack that like button. Go ahead, NFE, for your last words. Go ahead, brother.
So I was gonna mention, because you talked about the Rangers and the Diamondbacks in the World Series. What did I say on Tuesday's live stream? You know, that the Diamondbacks could do it.
Yeah, you did bring that up. So,
I think I think the Diamondbacks are going to win in 7. That's what I personally think. I as far as my last words, as far as the off season goes, with these talks with Juan Soto, it's encouraging. It's good. I just hope the Yankees could get something done, and I feel a little more confident now about the way things are going. I think they're serious this season, and like I said, I think it's going to be more involvement with Hal, and I think Hal is going to make more of the calls than Cashman will. If I'm honest, I think he's going to be more heavily involved this offseason with what the Yankees do and what direction they go.
Copy. I want to shout out my guy Joseph Caputo from the shift in the building. And if you guys can, make sure you tune in tomorrow. The Big Blue Brew and the Jets Evening Brew are going to be doing a crossover. It's going to be myself and Joe with my guy Celso and with Italy Jet previewing the Jets versus the Giants. When it comes to football, it's going to be a great conversation. You're not going to miss it out. Sunil, let me get your last words. Let's throw it over to Ruben and then TC to close us out. Go ahead, Sunil.
So the World Series, Texas in 7, not just because I live down here, but I just think that, because, they've got the manager who's got 3 rings already. And the first of which basically came against the franchise for which he's managing right now. No coincidence. As far as hitting coach and other things, there are a couple of names that, as the conversation was going on, that came across my mind that come from the Philadelphia fans, sports scene. Chase Utley and Pat Burrell. Don't know if those guys would be interested, and those guys were, esteemed hitters back in their day. Mm-hmm. Of course, with Chase Utley, you're going to get the extra douchebaggery bonus of how to basically knock out the other team's second baseman. See 2015 for reference.
Yeah. That was a disgusting play on Ruben Tejada, honestly. Totally ruined Ruben Tejada's career, bro, honestly.
Yeah.
And then when they threw at him the next year, Noah Syndergaard got thrown out. And that's probably one of the best hot mics ever. Terry Collins and the umpires going at it. When it comes to that, you guys, give us a shot. Bleep. Yeah, all of that. That was a great hot mic moment in baseball. Ruben, going over to you to get your last. Oh, my fault, Sunil. Was you finished? I apologize. Go ahead, Sunil.
I was going to say, if you want a real hot mic on that one, go look at what John Boyce put out there, all the way back then.
All right, Ruben, go ahead. Let's get your last words and throw it over to TC to wrap us up. Go ahead, Rubes.
Man, hearing the Soto news, I just try to remind myself this is Cashman's Yankees, not Georgia's. So I have to not get too excited. So until it happens, I ain't gonna believe it until I see it. But for now, I'm just glad that we're actually in the talks again for him, and then it seems like they're going for him again. Usually when Cashman tries to go for certain players more than once, that typically means he's gonna find a way to get him in the near future, rather than waiting for them to turn 37 years old and washed up. And then when it comes to the hitting coaches, I just want guys that are currently coaching. I don't want too many rookies. Like Mark DeRosa was one, but like that's considered a rookie. If he were to go into coaching, but I've seen enough of him talking about hitting and stuff that makes me feel comfortable. But overall, I would much rather want more experience, like hitting coaches that. But and again, I don't want people to keep thinking, oh, the analytics is the problem. No, analytics is just information, guys. It's literally just how do you implement the information. Look at the information. What do you do with it? Because a lot of times, like people just don't know how to read information. That's why they say you can have all the knowledge, but if you don't have the wisdom to apply that knowledge, then you ain't nothing, because you don't know how to use it. Yep. So it's all about making sure that you know how to implement the information that's being brought to you. So that's the part that I want. I just want folks to have wisdom, and that comes with baseball experience. And so I need someone that has a real deep into baseball fundamentals with those analytics.
It's just like in the STEM field, right, Ruben? If you're in school, whether that's K through 12 or if you're in college, You can have all the textbooks in the world in front of you, but if you don't have a teacher to help you learn that information, you ain't going nowhere, right? It works hand in hand. You got to have the information and have the right people to help you implement it. TC,
I have a quick quick little analogy. I used to work in the emergency room, right? I did for quite a few years over the night shift. Man, you see all kinds of stuff, whatever. But you know how like there's always mixed feelings about, you know, people and how they're treated in the healthcare field and all that stuff. So that goes to show that you can learn it, but doesn't mean that you're gonna apply it properly. so that's why I don't look at so much like their degrees or their so-called accolades. It's like, okay, but how did you get there to really get those accolades? Because some people
nowadays, they study for the test. They don't study for the practice.
Yeah, they don't study for the practice. So there's a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I know the numbers and I know this means this and this means that, but they have no idea how to make that work in game. Exactly. And that's a part I have a problem with. Is like it's like we need wisdom, we need common sense for the knowledge, because information is information. People can do good with it or do bad with it.
Facts, Ruben, 100%. Yeah. TC, I'm gonna throw it over to you. Last words and get ready to wrap us up, TC, so we get out of here.
Yeah. Real quick, just want to thank all you guys, Ruben, Sunil, NFE, and especially Lorenzo. Good to see you, brother.
Yes,
you know, we missed you,
Enzo.
Everyone in the chat, great chat.
Marie,
you know,
Truth always. Medina,
Grace is here. Big time,
Patrick,
Jerry. Truth.
Grace.
Yep.
19 man.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to take Texas in 6. I think their offense is just it's going to overpower Arizona. I know Arizona's scrappy. They know how to score. Low-scoring games, Arizona's going to win those games. But I just think Texas is going to put up some numbers that Arizona, they just can't, you know, they're not going to be able to catch up. But Soto, we got to get Soto. And Don Mattingly, please come over here for hitting coach and then future manager. Please. Thank you very much.
100%. I think most Yankee fans will be happy
guys,
with that.
By the way.
Ruben, appreciate you guys like always. Appreciate all you fellas that contribute to the open panel. Appreciate everybody in the chat, because like we always say, yes, the show is what it is, but what really makes this show is people that come on the open panel and people that engage in the chat. So we appreciate all of you guys. If you guys can, smack that like button, hit the subscribe button. Until next time, it's always deuces, right? Deuces.
Peace out.